Okay, what is data? Okay, data can be any types of information that is supplied to give us information. Okay, any type of sources that we can use to give us information. It can be numbers like market data. Yeah, it can be sources for banks is either figures like figures. Okay, it can be words. Words also can be data, and it can be location. It can be a mark of location macam ni yang diwarnakan ikut tempat-tempat tertentu daripada different colors can give us different information. This also can be data. And measurements sama ada ketinggian, panjang, lebar dan sebagainya also can be data. Okay, by definition, data is a collection of observations such as measurements, numbers, words or survey responses. Okay, like the one that is presented on the earlier slides. Data can be grouped into two types. It can be grouped into constant. Constant is an actual value or a specific character whose value does not change. Ini tetap macam kita belajar dalam maths dulu. Constant tu the value does not change by time. The example, number of days in a week, height of KLCC. So for example, constant E given by 3.142. So these examples of constant which they do not change. Okay, another group of data is variable. Variable is something can be changed. We can give different value to the variable. It can represent different type of different value. Okay, a characteristic of interest about each individual element of a population or sample. For example, weight of students. Weight of students can be change according to different students. Okay, amount of tax paid by individuals. Individuals might pay tax with different amount. Okay, so if the value can be changed, we call it variable. Okay, data value. What is data value? Data value is the value of variable associated with one element of a population or sample. Data value ni yang nilai bagi data tu yang di-assignkan pada variable mengikut mengikut kes-kes yang dijalankan terhadap population ataupun sampel kajian. Itu dinamakan data value. Contohnya, ketinggian seseorang itu secara puratanya adalah 10 orang, secara puratanya adalah 1.52 meters. Okay, that is a data value. For example, a number, word, or a symbol can be data value. Another example, Farah entered college at age of 23. Her hair is brown, etc. Okay, these are examples of data value, where value or colors or location is assigned to a variable to indicate the characteristic of the object under study. Okay, examples. A student is interested in finding out the average ringgit value of cars owned by the university staff. Determine the population, sample, variable of interest, data value, data parameter and statistic. Okay, now from this statement, population is the collection of all cars owned by all staff at the university. Okay, so you need to identify what is the population in this situation. So now the population is the collection of all cars owned by all staff at the university. So these are the scope that we would like to study. Okay, what is sample? What represent the population? any subset of the population. For example, the cars owned by all staff of CAS. So this could be the a sample that we can take from the population to represent the whole population. Okay, what is variable here? Variable is the ringgit value of each individual car. Okay, variable is the ringgit value of each individual car. So these are the the um, the the subject that can be changed according to the individual car. So that's why we choose ringgit value as variable because it can be changed accordingly. So now what is data value? Data value is the ringgit value of a particular car. For example, Ali's car is valued at 45,000. So any value incurred on the data is called data value. So what is data here? Is the set of values that correspond to the sample obtained. So this is data. Okay, value of the car collect from the sample of population is called data. So this is the ringgit value will be the data that we would like to study. Okay, what is parameter? Parameter is the average value of all cars owned by all staff at the university. So this is the parameter. Parameter is the fixed value that is used in the study. So we call the parameter. So the parameter here is the average value of all cars owned by all staff at the university. And remember, parameter come from population. The statistic come from sample. So what is statistic here? In the situation here, statistic from the sample is the average value of the cars owned by staff in the sample. The variable can be qualitative or quantitative. So there are two types of variables, qualitative, another one is quantitative. So what is qualitative variable? Qualitative variable is data that do not use numbers in general and usually used to describe or categorize an object. So qualitative data ni adalah data yang tidak melibatkan number, dia lebih kepada sifat sesuatu objek. Contohnya, color of eyes, severity of a disease, answer yes or no. So these are types of qualitative variable, meaning that other variable which do not use numbers. A variable which do not use numbers is called qualitative variable. Okay. For quantitative variables, bertentangan daripada qualitative variable, which mean that data that can be counted or measured in numbers. Data-data yang diwakili oleh numbers jatuh dalam kategori quantitative variable. For example, number of sibling, berapa bilangan adik yang kita ada, berapa bilangan adik-beradik dalam rumah tersebut. Okay, that is numbers. Weight of a product, 7 kilo, 8 kilo, 6 kilo, 10 kilo and so on. So numbers. So weight of product is variable quantitative. Okay, price of a product, harga RM2, RM8, RM6.60 sebagainya. Okay, it represent numbers. So that is quantitative variable. Length of time, 5 jam, 6 jam, 25 jam. Okay, that is represent the numbers. So that is considered, length of time is considered as quantitative variable. Okay, quantitative variable is divided into continuous variables or discrete variables. Okay, apa beza continuous? Okay, continuous variable ni, but remember quantitative represent data untuk numbers. Okay, untuk quantitative, untuk continuous variables, mana variable yang boleh mengambil sebarang number di sepanjang garis lurus. So maknanya dia boleh ambil number decimal, perpuluhan yang sekecil-kecil perpuluhan, 1.65789, which is infinite decimal numbers. That is considered continuous data. Okay, contohnya distance between two places. Daripada jarak antara dua tempat tu, it can be 1.1 kilometer ataupun boleh jadi 1.1569 kilometer. As long as any numbers that can be measured in sepanjang garis lurus. That is considered continuous. Arrival time of a flight can be masa dia 1 jam 1 jam 45 minit. 1 jam 45 minit 30 saat. Dia jadi macam tu. Ataupun nak kena tukar kepada jam 1.6789999 hours. Itu adalah can be arrival of flight. Okay, amount of saving pun. Okay, duit pun sekecil-kecil duit kita boleh bilang. Okay, 1.1769 100 ringgit, for example, million ringgit, for example. Okay, amount of saving considered continuous variable. Okay, discrete ni number bulat. Contohnya bilangan orang 50, 60, 70. So, bilangan orang ni kita tak boleh bilang dalam bentuk desimal 1.4678 orang, tak boleh. Okay, number-number yang bulat. Bilangan orang, bilangan buah, bilangan rumah, number yang bentuk integer positif. Yang variable yang tak boleh ambil bentuk pecahan. Okay, this is considered as discrete variable. Okay, exercise 2 of the US adult population, 36% has an allergy. A sample of 1,200 randomly selected adults resulted in 33.2% reporting an allergy. Okay, so of this statement, describe the population. The population here is all adults of US population. Okay, what is sample? Sample is 1,200, which is randomly selected. So this is the sample. And what is variable? Variable is something that can be changed. So variable here is has an allergy or not. Okay, so the situation of having an allergy the situation of an adult which has an allergy or do not has an allergy. Okay, identify the statistic and give its value. Statistic is the one value obtained from sample. Okay, so statistic here is 33.2% that has an allergy. Identify the parameter. Parameter is the one obtained from population, which is 36% that has an allergy. Okay, now try do exercise 3 given this situation. Name the variable of interest and identify the variable from the situation here. Okay, try to do exercise 3 on your own and also exercise 4 based on the one that we have studied earlier. Okay, identify each of the following as an example. Okay, which one is qualitative, which one is quantitative. Okay, now measurement scales. Maknanya scale ukuran-ukuran yang dalam kajian yang kita lakukan. So, mempunyai 4 bentuk scale ataupun ukuran. Okay, types of scales, measurement scales. Both qualitative data ni have their own scale of measurement. So it depends on what type of measurement scales that we are doing in our study. Scales of measurement is ways in which numbers are defined and categorized. Numbers tu kita define dari bentuk-bentuk number yang kita beri kepada data tu ada different type of numbers. So it depends on our study. It's either the scales of measurement is either nominal, ordinal, interval or ratio. Nominal means categories. Data-data kita tu dalam bentuk kategori tapi unordered, bentuk dia tak dalam bentuk yang teratur. Okay, ordinal bentuk data kategoris tapi ada order yang tertentu. Macam 1, 2, 3, 4 itu dalam bentuk order menaik ataupun menurun. Okay, interval differences but no natural starting point. Okay, ini bentuk interval. Interval tu dalam bentuk bentuk apa ni, daripada nombor 5 ke 8, 10 ke 16 contoh kan, tapi tak ada starting point yang tertentu. Okey, ratio adalah also differences tapi mempunyai starting point yang tertentu. Okey, so nanti kita akan tengok, kita akan bentuk yang lebih detail tentang perbezaan di antara keempat-empat scales of measurement ni. So sekarang ni kita boleh groupkan variable kepada dua jenis, which is qualitative and quantitative. Okay, under qualitative, type of scale, measurement scale is either nominal or ordinal. Ini under qualitative. Okay, under quantitative variable, the measurement scale can be under interval or ratio. So kena groupkan accordingly. Nominal and ordinal is under qualitative variable. Interval and ratio scale of measurement is under quantitative variable. Okay, increasing precision ni maknanya ketepatan. Ketepatan tu meningkat jika data-data yang kita ukur tu kita kita gunakan nominal, dia kurang tepat. Kalau gunakan data bentuk ordinal pun lebih tepat sikit daripada nominal. Kalau guna data berbentuk interval, dia lebih tepat daripada nominal ordinal. Tapi kalau guna data bentuk ratio, dia yang paling tepat berbanding dengan 3 bentuk scale measurement yang lain. Okey, nominal data daripada perkataan Latin meaning name. Okay, this scale is simply placing data into category without any order of structure. Okay, arithmetic operation are not meaningful for this data. Yang ni maknanya ini dia lebih kepada kategori dan dia tak ada ranking. Contohnya macam gender, male or female. Kita tak ada male, kita tak ada ranking macam nombor 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's either male or female. Either yes or no or undecided. Ini kategori of lebih kepada kualitatif. Kita bentuk words yang difahami. Okay, job is either student, employed, self-employed or unemployed. Okay, lebih kepada words yang bezakan satu kategori dengan kategori yang lain. Okay, this is nominal data. Okay, for ordinal data data can be arranged in some order. Dia masih lagi kualitatif tapi boleh diarrangekan dan kita faham dia dalam kategori yang ada ada perbezaan dan ada ranking menaik menurun. Contohnya satisfaction, very satisfied, somewhat satisfied. Kita tahu ranking pertama yang paling tinggi very satisfied. Yang sederhana satisfied. Yang paling kurang least satisfaction is somewhat satisfied. Untuk grade A, B, C, D or F. A untuk paling tinggi markahnya, B kurang tinggi dan yang fail yang paling least sekali adalah F. So ini bentuk kategori yang kualitatif, sifat-sifat tapi masih ada order yang kita boleh faham rankingnya. Okey, untuk interval data, interval kita faham interval dia daripada satu range lower ke higher ataupun higher ke lower. The difference tu make sense. Okay, contoh temperature between 20 to 25 degree of Celsius. So kita faham. Okay, ataupun kalau from negative 5 to 0, kita tahu dia punya suhu dia sangat sejuk. Okay, that is interval. Data in this case do not have a natural zero starting point. Dia bukan start daripada zero. Okay, and difference tu make sense. Bezaan tu make sense. Okay, macam suhu, macam jarak dan sebagainya kan. Itu bentuk interval ya. Okay, example year from 1492 to 2000 for example macam ni. It can be arranged in order, the difference makes sense, can be found and it is meaningful. Time did not begin in the zero, so the year zero is represented instead of being a natural zero starting point representing no time. To say that year 2000 is twice as old as the year 1000, so tak kita tak dia punya bukan gandaan number sebenarnya, tapi dalam bentuk range, in between, tahun yang berlaku in between tempoh tersebut. Okay, ratio is type of data that can be arranged. Differences can be found. Difference tu memang kita nampak perbezaan dia dalam ratio, ada satu ratio dengan data ratio yang lain. And there is a natural zero starting point. And ratio ni bermula daripada zero. Okay, at this scale, differences and ratios are both meaningful. Example, temperature, if we measure in degrees, Kelvin is a ratio scale because we know a meaningful 0 points. Okay, so degree 0 tu meaning that paling suhu 0. Okay, suhu 0 tu memang absolute. Kita tahu bila dia start daripada 0, kemudian 10 darjah Celsius, 20 darjah Celsius dan seterusnya. So kita dapat tengok perbezaan dia, peningkatan daripada segi ada starting point, start at 0. Okay, physical measurements of height, weight, length are typically ratio variable, sebab height mesti bermula daripada 0. Okay, kemudian 2 meter, 4 meter, 10 meter, 6 meter and so on. Weight pun mesti bermula daripada 0. Panjang pun mesti bermula daripada 0. It is now meaningful to say that 10 meters is twice as long as 5 meters. So this is because there is a natural zero. Sebab kita tahu zero tu di permulaan dia. So kalau 10 meter tu kita adalah panjangnya daripada zero. Tu kita boleh dapat perbezaan. Kita nak ukur tu, kebanyakan data-data yang very clear data adalah berbentuk ratio. Okay, yang ni yang memang sering kita gunakan untuk pengukuran. Okay, so now let's do exercise 5, which is classify each data with a suitable measurement scale. Okay, try to do this and try to figure out which type of data each statement.